spamming the likes, spamming the shares, and hopping in that queue if we support Trump. And W. Dolores is for the $20 donation on Venmo for the therapy. Thank you, Dolores. Now, we're going to go ahead and not skip a beat and just hop straight into the debate. So if you happen to be watching and you support Trump, hop in that queue. I'm going to go ahead and just lay out the rules. Super duper simple to y'all, though. Got to be at least 18, support Trump, and be ready and willing to debate. Those are the rules. Make sure that we're following them. If you're not following them, you're going to be banned. And if you want to skip the queue, just put a MAGA with your age down below and I'll invite you up.
Oh my God, Dean.
Do you support Trump?
No.
All right. I'm sorry. I do appreciate you for the love. We are going to ban you, though, just because I made the rules explicitly clear and you didn't follow them. So, mods, please ban them while we're working on moving on to this next guest. What's up? Are you MAGA?
No, I'm just...
Okay, then ban them too, everybody. Go ahead and ban them too, guys. Mods, ban them too. Moving on to the next guest. I don't know why you guys are just wanting to get banned. What is going on? D-Sport Trump got to go.
Yes, I do.
Okay, 32. Take it away. Tell us why you support the man, the myth, the failure. Donald J. Trump is president. Go for it.
All right, you're gonna wreck me on this, but so I think I support him because he's actually adding some change, and he's showing all the loopholes that we have on our system.
Okay, so change isn't always positive. You know, like if I'm happily married for 25 years and, you know, I divorce my wife to find somebody new, you know, that's not always going to be a positive thing, even though it always is a change. So what is the change that Donald Trump has introduced to this country that is positive?
Well, I think a lot of things are going downhill, and I think he's stirring stuff up and bringing, kind of showing up a lot of light into all the issues that we have.
Like which ones?
I think the border.
The border, what
example,
what has he done for the border that's been positive? What is your favorite Donald Trump border policy he's implemented so far?
I'll say he's I guess the whole way he's having ICE going around doing all that.
Oh, well, that has nothing to do with the border. That is immigration policy. It's not border policy. That's mass deportation. So you're saying that mass deportation is a positive, right?
Can I say how that affects the border?
By like scaring undocumented entry away?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but still yet, it would have to be a positive to do the mass deportation in the first place in order for the second order consequence of scared undocumented entry away in order to be positive as well. So we're going to start on base number one by you giving me an argument that mass deportation is a good thing for this country. I'm going to make it super easy on you. The way I'd like you to do this is by just simply naming one positive outcome of mass deportation on this country or the people in it. And I'm going to ask you to be incredibly specific with your response here.
All right, it's going to be a tough one because all I can think of is it's scaring a lot of illegals from being here, and the ones that are here and the ones that are going to cross.
Okay, but this isn't like, what is the positive outcome that is reaped for this country by doing that? Does it help our economy? Does it help crime rates? Does it help standard qualities of living? Does it help straining public resources? Does it help like spending for our government spend less? Does it help our government make more? Like, what are the specific positive outcomes here that mass deportation has on this country? Because if you were to ask me what are the specific negative outcomes, I'd be able to give you a handful. You know, it cuts the GDP by an estimated 1.1 trillion through 1.7 trillion per year. It cuts government revenue by $100 billion per year, cost $2 trillion over 10 years. Reduces average qualities of lives, makes our manufacturers less productive, increases crime rates by increasing poverty. These are very specific negative outcomes of mass deportation. So I'm going to ask you now to name some very specific positive outcomes of mass deportation.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think a lot of the positive things are going to come in the future.
Well, what are the future positive things that we'll see? Tell me.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that it'll help people get back into the country legally.
It'll only make the lines longer, which actually makes it harder for people to get in the country legally. So that's not true.
Which I think is what should be being tackled right now is the method in which people get into the country.
I agree 110%. I agree 110%, but you're still not answering my question. Tell me the positive outcomes of mass deportation for this country, either now or in the long term. That is the burden of proof that you have right now to demonstrate that it's a good policy. Because if you can't do that, well, guess what? I'm able to list off, like I said, 5 reasons why mass deportation hurts this country. If you can't even list off one way it helps the country, by what rational standard would we be able to assume that mass deportation is anything but a shit agenda that puts this country last?
Yeah, it's let me think about it. That's a really good answer. That's a really good point. I haven't thought about that.
No, yeah, well, I mean, if you want some time to think about it and you want to come back once you maybe can name some positive outcomes, I'm all for that, man. I mean, I want people to do their research. That is why that's why I host these lives. So if this just is
Yeah, honestly, I
incentivize
was
you
just
to do
I got
your
really
research, it's great.
Yeah, I've been prepared multiple times in the past and waited like hours and then didn't get in. So I was like happy to get in. Just give me 10 seconds to think.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and load up another guest. Take all the time you need. What's up, Jake? How old are you?
I'm 18.
18. Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Really, 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 Jake. Okay, I have a question. Why do you support somebody that's been held civilly liable for rape, criminally charged with 34 felonies, and has now been essentially proven to be best friends or was best friends with a billionaire child rapist human trafficker, while he also knew that he was a billionaire child rapist
Bro,
human
why are
trafficker?
you whining? You already won. Cry about it.
So I'm not crying about it. I'm critiquing him. It's really important for us to critique the president because social support is the hidden check and balance of what the president does. If we are not critical of what the president does, then the president does whatever they want to, and obviously that is not always a good thing. So Jake actually left. He couldn't handle the facts and reasons, so he hit the high road. Hit the low road, I should say. We're gonna go to move that next guest up here. We are running through them so fast. Well, welcome in Girth. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Age, please.
Where do you want me to go with
White,
this guy, by the way?
23. Sorry.
Cool. It looks like you
I can
got
mute
some.
up if you need to answer.
It looks like you got some audio issues, man. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. If you have any Bluetooth devices connected to your phone, if you disconnect them, that'll be great. Or if you could just bring your mic a little bit closer to your face, that would also be great. Now, Gatiko's back. Go ahead, Gatiko. What are some positive outcomes of mass deportation? Okay, Gatiko just left. Mr. Brook, it's back to you. Take it away. Why do you support the man, the myth, the failure? Trump is president.
Well, one, because they're exploiting the labor of these people that come across. They can just pay them a lot less than they can Americans.
Okay.
And there's a lot of drug crime that comes with bringing.
I'm muting you just to let you know real quick that you can't say the specific names of any DRUGS. The reason you can't say the specific names of any DRUGS is because it will restrict the live and ban your account. I didn't want to mute you there. I don't like interrupting. Plus, you're being respectful, so that's fine. I just had to let you know what the TikTok terms of service flags for. Go ahead and unmute your mic and take it away.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Just so I can say the D word, but I'm not allowed to be specific.
Even saying the D word gets a flag, so that's why I like to spell it out.
Okay, yeah. Yes, so there's a lot of that comes along with them because obviously it's easy for them to have access in their country, so to bring it over.
Sorry, man, I got to put you on mute again because you got a lot of background noise there. Is it possible for you to go into a little bit more of a quiet place in your house? The background sound is just a little bit too loud for me, man.
Yeah, I muted up. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was that loud. Yeah, so there's a lot of that comes along with them, and then mainly the labor is the biggest thing because they can exploit people in trades and other things to pay them less instead of paying Americans more.
Cool. I'll go ahead and respond to that point. You are right that employers exploit undocumented immigrants more than they exploit American citizens. You're right that because of that, undocumented immigrants get lower wages on average. But now we need to ask ourselves why. Why do you think that employers have an easier time exploiting immigrants, undocumented immigrants to be more specific, compared to citizens?
Because, well, one, they've already worked a lot of physically demanding labor jobs in their country is like what goes on a lot right now. But so when they come
false
over
hypothesis, because your hypothesis that they were more used to working more physically demanding jobs from the countries that they came from, well, then we'd also expect legal immigrants to get paid less on average, but we don't see that either. So that hypothesis is necessarily not true.
If you look at how their country has evolved, the tools and everything that they use is kind of like 20 years, 30 years behind from what we usually use standardized for most of our tools. And
Okay, well, I'm not sure that that claim is true, but once again, the root of your
But yeah.
claim here is false, right? Saying that they get paid that they get paid lower wages on average because of something to do with the conditions of the country that they came from. The reason why we know that claim is false is because then we would thereby also expect legal immigrants to get paid lower wages on average because they're also coming from countries outside of America, and we don't see that. So the real reason why undocumented immigrants get paid lower wages on average compared to citizens is because they don't possess residency or citizenship, meaning they possess less bargaining power against their employer because they're under the threat of being deported. They don't have long-term survivability in the economy. Their employer can report them to ICE if they don't do what they want. It's easier to exploit them for that reason, less bargaining power on average. Now,
but they also pay in less to the government, so then it doesn't make sense. Like, they don't need to get paid the extra amount that we usually get, which is actually, for most cases, they like work out how much taxes are and like the median wage, what's livable. So when someone comes in that doesn't have to follow those guidelines, they can kind of abuse that. They don't really need to get paid the same amount. 20 an hour isn't the worst thing to someone that doesn't have to pay in all the time. You know what I'm saying? They still have to pay for taxes on food and like state taxes. You can't avoid that certain stuff. But when you're talking about every year, how much, like if you made over a certain amount, you have to pay in. You're not taking from the government. So if they were to do that,
I'm going to shoot in the dark with a response here. Like, to be honest, I'm not clear on what you just said. What you just said, it was very unclear. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I think that you were trying to communicate a point about how undocumented immigrants don't have to pay taxes. They're not held to the same legal labor requirements, etc. Well, that's false. Undocumented immigrants do have to pay taxes just like citizens. Everybody making money in America has to pay taxes. And they do pay taxes. Undocumented immigrants pay around $100 billion in taxes per year, as well as the same legal labor requirements that are held to citizens are also held to undocumented immigrants. Like, once again, I'm not sure what point you made. So under the table. Well, guess what? Paying somebody under the table is illegal. So they still have those legal requirements imposed on them. Now, if your argument is that they're more likely to get paid under the table than citizens, you're likely correct. Why? Because they can't file for a tax return if they work over the table, and they don't qualify for any of the benefits that paying taxes is supposed to pay for, like federal Medicaid, Medicare, or Social Security. Well, what all that this tells us is that they'd be just as likely to pay taxes over the table as citizens if they were able to file for a tax return or claim federal benefits. How can we ensure that they're able to file a tax return or claim federal benefits? Maybe if we offer them a pathway to residency or citizenship. So it seems like all the issues here that you've pointed out, like the idea that they have less bargaining power on average, therefore it's easy for their employers to exploit them, or that they're more likely to work under the table, therefore it's more likely for their employers to exploit them, is easy to remedy by simply offering them a pathway to residency or citizenship.
But it's not our job as a citizen to go and take these people that are abusing the power. That it's not our fault that it's there. It's not theirs either, but there is loopholes inside of the government that everyone can exploit, and they're coming over and they're using those, and it's not our job to take and remove those type of people. It's the government's job to be the parental guardian, whatever, to their citizens and actually be the responsible ones to do that.
Okay,
And
I'm not gonna lie. Everything that you just said went in one ear and out the other. I simply did not comprehend what you mean. Like, I don't know what you mean. What are you saying? Like, make a coherent point there that I could understand without being confused.
it's not, we're asking you're saying that it's wrong for the government to do this and step in.
Wrong for the government to do
citizens.
deportation?
Yes, you're saying it's wrong for them to do that.
Yeah, yes. I do think that a deportation is a bad, wrong thing because of the negative impacts that it has on this country and the negative impacts that it has on the immigrants. It doesn't help anybody, it hurts everybody. So that's why I think it's wrong.
But all I'm saying is it is, for my opinion, it is right, and it's not our job as a citizen to do that. We pay taxes for the government to do that.
Okay, would you agree with me here that conceptually speaking, a bad policy is a policy that generates more negative outcomes than positive outcomes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's now see if that would categorize and include mass deportation. Would you agree with me here that if I could demonstrate that mass deportation yields more negative outcomes than positive outcomes, it's a bad policy?
I guess.
Okay, and if you want to argue that it's a good policy, you'll have to demonstrate that it has more positive outcomes than negative outcomes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll give you the negative outcomes. Let's see if you could give me the positive outcomes. One negative outcome is a significant hit to our GDP, 1.1 trill through 1.7 trill per year. Another negative outcome is a significant hit in reduction in taxable revenue to our federal government, $100 billion per year. Another negative outcome is a destabilized manufacturing sector created by the forceful layoff of the 8.3 million undocumented immigrants working. Another negative outcome is the very significant hit on the consumer side of things by forcefully removing 12 million consumers. All this amounts to the greater negative outcome of a destabilized economy that operates less efficiently. That would include a reduction in the average quality of life and an increase in things such as poverty. Another negative outcome, which would be consequential of an increase in something such as poverty, would be more crime. So, I mean, we'll start there. I could go on and on and on, but there's a bunch of negative outcomes. What are the positive outcomes?
is going to help the labor force in the middle class, because a lot of us are struggling right now because construction fields are able to, like I said, loophole the labor field where they don't have to pay someone as much, or it wouldn't move up. So like, what would be the median for what is survivable has to move up some way. We don't have a union, so it has to move up by the prices of everything going up and it just being not worth the job. So someone's just saying, no, I'm not going to do the job. That doesn't make sense. Well, guess what? Jose down the street is willing to do it for any amount of money.
Well,
I
I don't think that we should use the name Jose to just refer to undocumented immigrants. That sounds like incredibly incredibly.
Well, I'm not trying to be.
Jose, the undocumented immigrant. No, that just characterizes Hispanic individuals with Latino names as not supposed to be in the country, and that's what leads to outcomes of blatant xenophobia and racism held against Hispanic individuals, telling them that they need to go back to where they came from. Yeah, and that happens a lot because of this rhetoric. In fact, it's even happened to some family friends. That's what happens when we just label undocumented immigrants as Jose's.
I know, but I didn't mean to say it like that. I was just trying to give it to explain the story. I gotta feel it a little bit to really understand sometimes.
I have no clue. I have no clue what you're saying. I'm going to be honest. I think that you're trying to make a point now that a positive outcome of mass deportation would be to a positive impact on the labor market, because undocumented immigrants are more willing to accept lower wages on average. It reduces wages in the sector. Are you saying that if we were to remove them all, that wages in the sector would go up?
Yes, because like I said, no one's willing to do the jobs that are that cheap or for this amount of time.
Oh, okay, sweet. Well, we could also remedy this issue through mass amnesty, while also not just destroying our GDP, destroying our labor force, destroying our manufacturers, and excommunicating 12 million consumers. The reason why I say that mass amnesty or the naturalization of undocumented immigrants would fix this is because the reason why they accept lower wages is because they have less bargaining power due to the fact that they're not residents or citizens. If we literally make them residents or citizens, they'll have just as much bargaining power as everybody else, meaning that they won't be more likely to accept lower wages on average, remedying the issue that you've been able to point out in the labor force generated by undocumented immigrants working, while also not reducing our GDP by the trillions of dollars that I said, not increasing the crime rates.
A lot of them know they're not going to get the documentation, and that's why they sneak over ahead of time, because they know they fail in certain qualifications, certain arrests, whatever, yada, yada, yada.
What is this guy
saying?
saying?
They know they're not going to pass that, so that's why they sneak over anyway. They don't care about documentation or any of that. They don't. It's not that for them.
Oh, that's not true at all. So that's a completely false claim. No. So absolutely not. The main incentive for undocumented entry isn't pre-existing prior criminal offenses that would make one not pass a system of naturalization. It's the fact that the legal means of entry are just too unattainable. It takes 20 to 25 years to become a citizen. That's the main reason why individuals come into this country with the use of undocumented means, not because they have prior violent criminal offenses. My evidence for that is if you are a violent criminal, if you have committed a prior violent criminal offense, the likelihood of you recommitting is incredibly high. In some places in America, it's 72%. So if your statement was true that most undocumented immigrants have prior criminal offenses that would prevent them from passing a system of naturalization or legal entry, well, then we'd expect their crime rates to be significantly higher, but they're not. They're actually significantly lower. So
how does it help the country? I know obviously it boosts up some of the GDP.
No, because remember,
helping
you're
on
still
the
trying
farms.
to, you're still trying to give me a positive outcome of mass deportation. You haven't been able to tell me one yet.
Well, you're not accepting that it would help the labor force because we don't have a union for most of them, other than like.
Dude, I gave you a counter argument. What was my counter argument?
The amnesty and all this other stuff that you're gonna.
Right. So I didn't accept your conclusion that therefore mass deportation is good because I was able to give you a counter argument that would also increase median wages in sectors such as construction by giving the undocumented immigrants residency or citizenship, thereby giving them more bargaining power. Of course, this would rule out mass deportation.
So you're
as a
saying that
relevant option.
more people in my field is going to help me.
Well, actually, yeah. When we have more people buying goods in your fields and we have more people producing goods in your fields, it's
No,
going
but
to
it's
help
the
you in every
labor
other
side.
American.
So more people taking the jobs, more people available is going to help me. That doesn't actually work like that. That's the opposite of what you need. You need a competitive market, but it's not like when you flood the market, it just completely ruins everything.
Okay. Well, question. Do you think that hypothetically you'd be in support of limiting birth rates of American citizens so we stop flooding the market of labor entry?
I mean, I don't think we have high enough birth rates as is,
No?
so I don't see how we could flood them.
Right, precisely. And do you think that like your market would be better off or worse off if I just randomly chose like 25% of all construction workers and banned them from ever working again? What kind of impact do you think that have on the construction market?
Obviously, it would need to stabilize. It would need some.
If I just snapped my fingers and laid off 25% of construction workers and prevented them from working a day in their life again, what kind of impact would that have on the market, and what kind of impact would that have on the larger economy?
If they're undocumented.
No,
and
they're not
supposed to
undocumented.
be there to
I'm
begin
just
with,
saying, like 25% of all construction workers at random. I choose them, I snap my fingers, they're no longer able to work. What kind of impact would that have on the economy?
Obviously, a negative. It would slow down the infrastructure by 25%, I would say.
Right. Exactly. That's mass deportation.
But if they're not supposed to be here and they're taking up this, like I said, the space, then we need to stop planning off from this undocumented immigrants as our GDP. That's not like real. We need to be protecting our laws and our citizens.
Wait. I just want to clarify. Just because you can say that they're not supposed to be here, that does not change the economic impact of their removal.
Okay, so I get that you can use them as a labor force, but that does not mean that they need to be here or they have a right to be here for citizens that pay taxes for the government to protect the laws that they're trying to uphold.
Under a mass deportation, you'd pay more taxes since there'd be a lower total amount of people paying taxes.
But there wouldn't be as many people needed on the border or as paid ICE agents because of the amount of deportation needed because of the Biden administration. So
I don't even
know
understand what the
why.
Biden administration has to do. The last claim that I made to refute your abundantly false claim to justify mass deportation. Stay on topic. You made the claim that something is positive about the removal of all undocumented immigrants in this country because citizens pay taxes. I just simply refuted that claim by saying that citizens would actually pay more in taxes since there'd be a lower total amount of taxpayers.
Well, it's the opposite for me. I get that you're on the side of the undocumented immigrant, but as a taxpayer, I feel like our rights are more like they should definitely uphold our rights more. Like, why are we fighting for the rights of undocumented immigrants over the rights of citizens in the United States?
So now you're suggesting a false dichotomy because what the assumption here is if we don't deport undocumented immigrants, somehow citizens will suffer. No, actually the opposite is true, and I've already given you the argument for it. If we do a mass deportation, the citizens will suffer because they'll be working in a suboptimal economy with less production, less consumers, and a lower GDP. Citizens suffer if we do a mass deportation. And guess what? Citizens flourish if we do mass amnesty. Your life becomes better if we do mass amnesty. Real median wages goes up if we do mass amnesty. GDP growth is boosted if we do mass amnesty. Poverty goes down if we do mass amnesty. Taxable government revenue goes up if we do mass amnesty.
But why couldn't they have done it the legal way? Why couldn't we have just done it that way and grown our GDP the right way in a certain like
Well,
they're not
now
adding
you're
too much
just
to the
now you're
GDP
just back to
anyway.
resuggesting a non-economic
like-
argument, dude. If you're gonna come at me with economic claims saying that somehow the average American citizen is made economically worse off by allowing undocumented immigrants to stay in the country, or if we were to give undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship, and then as soon as I prove that the other that the opposite claim is true, that your life is made economically worse off by their removal, then you just pivot back to this like idea of the fact that we need to enforce the law even if it makes your life worse. You're just completely like convoluting the conversation we're having. You're trying to argue 2 points at once to obfuscate from the fact that you don't have any cogent rebuttal to the claims that I'm making. So, I mean, if you want to stick on the topic that we need to deport them no matter what the impact is on America as a country because they broke the law and we need to be tough on crime, well, think about it this way. I now have an argument that you shouldn't support Trump, and I don't even need to prove that Trump is bad at his job in order to uphold it. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump is a 34-count felon, and at the end of the day, Donald Trump has been held civilly liable for rape. So I need to make this point clear, even if I can accept that Donald Trump has a positive impact on America as the president, well, if we just kind of hold to your hyperbolic view that regardless of what the impact is of immigrants on this country, or regardless of what the impact of mass amnesty would be on this country, they broke the law, we need to get them out, regardless of what Trump's impact is on the country, or regardless of how effective he is as a president for the country, he broke the law 34 times and was held civilly liable for raping a woman, we need to get him out.
But if there was anything that could have stopped him from becoming president, when the Democrats have already tried that, like they did with the 34 counts of paying his lawyer. So like, I don't
Well,
get
okay.
it.
Wow. So now you're rhetorically talking down the felonies that he committed, acting as if they're no big deal. So therefore, you don't care he committed them. You still think he should be president. You understand that legally speaking, they're classified as a bigger deal than undocumented entry into this country under under 8 USC subpenal code 1385, and the typical execution of such, which is the code in which makes undocumented entry into this country a federal crime. They're adjudicated as misdemeanors, which is a lower level offense than a felony, and it was felonies in which Donald Trump was found guilty of. So legally speaking, he did something worse than undocumented entry 35 times. So if you want to play down the 35 criminal offenses Trump was guilty of, you should thereby obviously play down the offenses that undocumented immigrants are guilty of, because legally speaking, it is literally a less severe infraction upon our legislation.
But the best thing you guys have on him is 34 counts of the lawyer stuff, and then that grape that no one even really knows if it really happened. She called it out 15, 20 years later. And
Respond to what I just said.
knows-
Why are you ignoring what I just said? You just said the best thing we have on Trump is something worse than undocumented entry. So
Well-
if that's not enough to keep him out of the White House, why is that enough to keep immigrants out of this country?
He's fighting the issues that the Biden administration started. He didn't let in this amount. No other president has let over this amount of undocumented immigrants during their administration. So what he's doing is trying to take charge and overcompensate for the undercompensation of an administration.
So are you saying that you don't care that he committed these 35 felonies because he's benefiting the country?
No, I thought we were trying to go on to immigrants. So if we're trying
I'm
to
sorry.
go
I think that you're
back-
confused on the argument. I'll make the argument incredibly clear. Just listen, and I think that you'll be able to understand. You're saying that you don't care that he committed these 34 felonies. You don't think that these 34 felonies are serious, right?
I think it's here nor there that if it was something that could have stopped him from becoming president, it already would have. So if it's not that big, then why should anyone worry?
Wait, the way that it
We all
stopped him
know-
from becoming president is by convincing most voters to hold it as a red line against him. So I don't understand what that argument is doing for you, because obviously just because most people don't think it's that serious doesn't mean that it is that serious. I mean, they also did this with his associations with Epstein. They did this with his attempted coup of the federal election in 2020. Popular support for fascists is probably not going to be a good argument to demonstrate that fascist is good for this country. So I'm going to go back to what I said. Do you think that Donald Trump's 34 felonies are sufficiently wrong to keep him out of the Oval Office?
No, based on what I've inquired about the details of the case,
And
I don't
wh-
think so.
And make it explicitly clear for us. Why do you think that they're not sufficiently wrong to keep him out of the Oval Office?
Because it had nothing to do with colluding or treason or anything that would be like against the United States in that way. He did something that is against the law in maybe certain counties or states inside of the United States, but it's not something that is widely illegal.
Are you trying to say that it's like a victimless crime that didn't really hurt anyone?
In a sense, but
okay,
I mean, like,
so if we shouldn't just take victimless crimes that don't really hurt anybody too seriously. Well, not only is undocumented entry a victimless crime that doesn't hurt anybody, but I mean it actually helps a lot of people by ensuring faster GDP growth, by ensuring our government has more money to spend on social safety nets. They're productive economic providers that makes this country better off. So I mean, you know, if you want to argue that his felonies weren't that serious to keep him out of the Oval Office, then why should I believe that you do believe that undocumented entry is serious enough to keep immigrants out of this country?
Because first off, I don't think it's safe for the undocumented immigrants that are trying to cross over. Some of them, they're classed on how much money they can pay the coyote to cross them across the border. So they wear like little bands, and if they have like a lower level band, then they can basically do whatever they want with them, no matter the age.
So good point. You're just saying that undocumented entry into this country is unsafe for the immigrants. I actually agree. That's why I think that we should eradicate undocumented entry by making the legal means of entry into this country significantly better, thereby granting no incentive for undocumented entry in the first place. Because the main incentive for undocumented entry is going to be the unattainability of the legal means of entry into this country. But we're not talking about the people that are actively crossing the border. We're talking about the people that are in this country productively providing to our economy that already crossed the border. You're saying those people should be deported because it was unsafe for them to enter into the first place? I don't think that makes much sense.
Because if we just act as if that the borders of our country are just a phase through, anyone can just cross through, and we shouldn't really hold anyone accountable. The laws don't really matter.
Don't talk about accountability. You put a rapist in the Oval Office. Shut up, bro. Shut up. I don't want to hear about accountability. Dude, you support a president that unironically gave presidential pardons to people that stomped on cops' heads on January 6th. You don't care. He called them patriots. Or what about DJ Rodriguez? He drove a stun gun, a fucking taser, into a cop's neck on J6 and gave him a heart attack, and he's still going to therapy for PTSD because of it. Donald Trump let him out of jail and called him a patriot. What the fuck are you yapping about? Accountability for crimes? Come on.
Whatever in 1982 that actually brought a BOMB to the Capitol. You don't remember that? And she was a leftist.
In 1982. That was like 20 years before I was born.
And then Bill Clinton freed her. He pardoned her, presidentially pardoned her after 18 years in prison.
Well, unlike you, I'm not a fucking cultist. If somebody brought a literal BOMB to the Capitol, they should go to jail and serve out the entirety of their term. And if Clinton fucking pardoned them, I disagree with that.
That's what the leftist side did, though.
So I just want to clarify, in order for you to think you're winning this debate, you have to treat Dean Withers like Bill Clinton, and you think that I can't have any ideological disalignments with Bill Clinton. Okay, all right, let's play that game. Let's treat each other's side of the aisles as fucking monoliths. Because we got Nick Fuentes over on the right that denies the Holocaust and thinks that Hitler's a good guy. Guess what? You deny the Holocaust, you think Hitler's a good guy, you're a Nazi, and you deserve to be socially scrutinized. Oh, is that unfair? Oh, well, it's probably super unfair for you to equivocate between me and Bill Clinton, saying that if I disagree with anything on Bill Clinton, I'm not truly a progressive, and you've somehow won the debate because you've been able to point out somebody on the left has done.
I can bring up propaganda from each side, too. There's a whole bunch, like the 1982 BOMB thing, like it actually did happen. It wasn't like a hypothetical that she brought it there and this and that. No,
are you ready to be exposed as a hypocrite? Are you ready to be exposed as a hypocrite?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Do you care that Clinton pardoned that lady?
Yeah, I do. Why should she be pardoned?
Oh, well, the hypocrisy would be rooted in the fact that you don't care Donald Trump pardoned the violent offenders on January 6th. Your own argument actually works against you. Because, see, from my perspective, I care about both instances. From my perspective, it was wrong for Trump to pardon people that stomped on cops' heads and tried to kill them with tasers. And I'd also likely say that it was wrong for Bill Clinton to pardon whoever brought a BOMB to the Capitol. Do I know anything about it? No. On the surface level, can I say it's prima facie wrong? Sure. But see, you're the hypocrite because from your perspective, you don't care that Donald Trump let these violent offenders that did the things that I've already described to you and called them patriots.
But you guys call us.
But you do care what Bill
were the
Clinton
first
did.
ones
So
to
my
raid
question,
Capitol.
sir, here is, why are you hypocritical? Why are you such a hypocrite? Why do you only care when people on the left, such as Bill Clinton, pardon people that did bad things at the Capitol, but you don't care at all that Donald Trump called people that tried to unalive cops patriots and let them out of jail? Answer to your hypocrisy.
I'm just asking why you're calling my kettle black when we have a case before January 6th in 2026 or 2016 or whenever that happened that actually was from a leftist side that raided the Capitol and did their own thing. Instead of trying to protest,
guess what? I'd actually
BLM.
disagree with both. But the year is 1982. The year is 2025. Clinton's not president. Trump is president. So I'm probably going to put a little bit more emphasis on what Trump is doing compared to what Bill did. But in a sentence or less, I'll condemn what Bill did. But hopefully, we could speak for a little bit more than a single sentence about what the current president of America is doing, not what a president did close to 40 years ago.
Yeah, we can move on.
Close to 25 years ago.
Squabble about it, like it's fine. Like,
So then go ahead and respond to the fact that you told us you care about accountability for crime. And if you do care about accountability for crime, how come you support a president that called these people patriots and pardoned them, even though they try to kill cops?
Well, I can condemn them too, I guess. If we're just condemning all of the stuff that the other side did, I mean.
Oh, really? So you condemn that action of Trump?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he condemned it before they even did it. That's why he tweeted on Twitter that he didn't want anyone to rally outside of the
What?
White
No, he
House.
obviously didn't condemn what he did. And no, in the rally outside of the White House, he started that. You just don't know your facts. You're obviously misspeaking. But anyways, if you think that Donald Trump condemned the actions of DJ Rodriguez, well, then obviously you don't know that he pardoned him for his violent crime. I'd assume, because if you're trying to make the argument that he disagreed with what DJ Rodriguez did, but also pardoned him for what he did, this seems like an belligerent contradiction. You know, like imagine that I set a guideline with my child that he can't be on the Xbox past 8:30 p.m. But then when he stays on the Xbox past 8:30 p.m., I give him $1,000 and an ice cream cone, right? Like obviously I'm not going to condemn him being on the Xbox past 8:30 p.m. Now, if you want to say that Donald Trump condemned what DJ Rodriguez did on January 6th, but then turned around, called him a patriot, and let him out of jail 8 years early. Yeah, once again, that's kind of like the hypothetical I just gave you, except letting DJ Rodriguez out of jail 8 years early is probably more of a reward than giving my child staying on the Xbox past 8:30 p.m. $1,000 and an ice cream cone.
Well, is a guy that walked through the Capitol more violent than a girl that bring a BLMB and then got pardoned after only like 18 years of being in prison? So like the thing is,
Yeah, what's the thing?
What
Because
he
I don't
did
even think that you
is
know what you're saying.
patriotic.
I just want to be very clear. I don't even think that you know what you're saying. I don't understand the relevance of what Trump's pardons are compared to what Clinton's pardons were. Maybe you want to argue that I'm a hypocrite because I only care about what Trump did, but not Clinton. However, I've completely repeated like 1 billion times now that I'd care about Clinton if he did that too. So I don't understand why you keep on repeating this argument. This argument is essentially like saying if Donald Trump literally murdered somebody, well, Jeffrey Dahmer also murdered people. Like, okay, they both murdered people. Congratulations. And what does this tell us about why you defend Donald Trump murdering somebody? It says nothing. It serves no conceptual relevance.
the only major thing that you guys have on us, you guys have also done as a lefty, though. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't look at it as president. I look at it as left and right, Republican, Democrat. Anyone on one side is on one
I'm
side.
so confused. This would only be an argument if you were talking to somebody that defend those things if the left had done them.
But
Like you
only
understand
speak
that though,
for the Democratic side,
you understand like that would only be a good argument if somebody defended the hypocrisy.
no, I'm trying to point out the hypocrisy and saying that
It's not what's
one of the-
hypocritical. Wait, what is hypocrisy? Like define that phrase. I don't think you even know what it means to be hypocritical. What does it mean to be hypocritical? Tell me.
to call someone out and then do the same thing right afterwards.
Right,
Or have
precisely.
done it before, done it.
Fucking precisely. It would be hypocritical for me to call Trump out, but not to call Clinton out, right?
No, it would be hypocritical to call out January 6th when you guys have already done it before.
Oh,
That's what I was
fuck.
saying.
No, that's not a good argument at all. Can we agree?
Because it happened before time.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
that's not a good.
1982 before 2016.
That is not a good argument at all. Could we agree that there has been like something I don't know, what is like the worst thing any Democratic president has ever done? Let's assume that Bill Clinton was in the Epstein files and was a child rapist. Okay? All right? And let's also assume that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files and Donald Trump is a child rapist. If
Allegedly.
I were to say, in this hypothetical version of reality, that's definitely not true, that Donald Trump should be impeached for being a child rapist, would that be hypocritical because Bill Clinton was also a child rapist? And if Bill Clinton was president, I would say he should be impeached as well.
I don't think, well, I'm going to get this off first. I think that if Donald Trump had done that in that scenario, I obviously, even as a Republican, would also think that he should be impeached. But it would, in a sense, be hypocritical to call someone out that didn't get impeached for the same crime if they had known, and it was like the same case, like they knew he had done it and still elected him and still chose not to impeach him or do anything about the crimes.
So yeah, very nice. You're telling me that if we figured out Trump was a child rapist, it would be hypocritical for me to call this out. You don't know what hypocrisy is. You're pretty stupid.
How is it not hypocritical to call someone out for something you also did?
Well,
or have done?
I didn't do that. I would call both of the people that did do that out. Like,
So I
like
think we're on the same
think
page
about
then. I don't know
it. Wait,
how-
think about it this way: if there was somebody on the left that was hailing Hitler, would you be a hypocrite in calling that out because there's also people on the right that hail Hitler?
Yeah. If I said, oh my
What?
God, the left is bad because they're doing this, while the right has a huge side that is also doing that.
But in the same breath, you also condemn the people on the right that hailed Hitler.
Obviously, in a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you take it out of context, yes, you can say that. But, like,
What? Dude, why are you conceding to this? Like, what the hell? This is crazy to me. Like your conception of what hypocrisy is just completely meaningless because the left and the right are such large political movements that you're going to find bad eggs on each side. You no longer have an ability to call like any Democrat out for anything ever because the chances of that same action being committed by somebody on the right is incredibly high. Like real quick, literally call any Democrat ever out for anything. Go for it. I'm gonna expose you as a hypocrite right now, operating under your conception of what you think hypocrisy is. Call any Democrat out for anything bad they've ever done. I dare you.
defunding Doge.
What? What
Defunding Doge.
do you mean defunding Doge?
Or isn't that Department of Government, whatever?
How could a Democrat be defunding Doge when Republicans are in charge of all three branches of government right now and have been since before the conception of Doge?
I thought they voted on it before, right? Didn't they vote on the inception or into like actually like paying for it and all that, actually having like a say in it? I don't know. They actually voted
Okay,
it.
come up with another example of something bad a Democrat has done because that point made no sense.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of those. Like, I can't really say, so.
You can't really say one bad thing that any Democrat has done ever? Shit, why aren't you a Democrat?
No, I'm saying that wouldn't be hypocrisy because you're saying that you can find everything. So I don't have any off the top of my head that is like for sure that other side has
Exactly. Point made. If you call it hypocrisy to say that somebody has done a bad thing, even if people like loosely in your same political party have also done the bad thing, regardless if you condemn them to its hypocrisy, thereby you can't call anybody out for any bad thing ever. Precisely. That's why it's not hypocrisy, right? Like an example of how
But you didn't even know
hypocrisy.
that your side had done it before already, though.
Yeah, it's because I was born in 2004. In 1982,
I was born in 2001.
I was a thought. Maybe not even a thought. I don't think my parents were even. No, I wasn't even a thought. My parents were like barely going to college. Now an example of hypocrisy as it would apply here would be like me condemning Trump for this. Well, like at that, literally the worst at it. Anyways, Girth, are you still here?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've concluded that it's not hypocritical for me to call out the fact that Donald Trump pardoned literal, like, attempted cop killers, how do you feel about Donald Trump pardoning literal attempted cop killers?
I think that he was doing it because wasn't it during the whole like alleged false election or falsified votes and all that stuff?
None of nothing you just said made any sense. Please stop.
The whole reason they were there was because they were protesting the false election of Biden instead of Trump. That's what I thought.
This doesn't inform me about how you feel about the fact that he pardoned people that try to kill Trump. That try to kill cops.
That's why
try to
he
kill cops.
Pardoned him.
Okay, and what is so do you defend the pardons?
No, I'm saying that's the reasoning behind. That's why he's.
Okay, I didn't ask you for the reason, and I asked for if you defend them or not, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh. Yeah, I guess I definitely would support that then.
Okay, so why do you support people that try to? Okay, so let's get this straight. Where we're at so far in our conversation is that you think undocumented entry into this country is so bad they need to be deported, but then simultaneously you also support pardoning people and letting them out of jail for trying to kill cops. You are a raging fucking
people have already
hypocrite.
done it. Your people have already done it. So you can't be a hypocrite and say that we can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Bill Clinton, 1982, already said that. So that already happened on the Democratic side where they pardoned someone for BOM being a capital compared to what happened to not from him.
Chat, where do we even go from this? Because I've already re-explained to this guy 10 fucking times that it would also therefore be wrong if Clinton did it. Okay, here's an analogy. We're going to make an analogy real quick. Hey, got a question for you, Girth. You're telling us that you support the fact that Trump did this because some Democrat apparently also did something similar to it. Right?
I'm saying, I guess, yeah.
Okay, got it. So if some Democrat president in the past was a child rapist, would you support Trump raping a child?
That's circular reasoning, though. Like, I can't, there's nothing to go.
That's the reasoning that you provided. You literally said that you support Trump doing X, given that some Democrat president before him did X. So if some Democrat president before Trump raped a child, this would imply that you would literally support child rape. Not just still support him as president, literally support the action of him raping a child. Respond.
No, I wouldn't support it.
Oh, okay. So then what is your argument that you support Donald Trump pardoning people that tried to end the lives of cops on January 6th? Because obviously it's not because you think that Bill Clinton did something similar.
I mean, why am I not allowed to have that viewpoint of if someone on the left had already done it? Why can't we, when I feel like there was actually a lesser threat from people?
Okay. So then if you're still defending the view, well, somebody on the left has raped a child. So this means if Donald Trump raped a child, you'd support raping children, right?
I mean, no, and I don't.
Okay. So then just because you think somebody on the left has done something doesn't mean you'd support it if Trump did it. So then why do you support Trump pardoning people that tried to end the lives of cops on January 6th?
I mean, I'd rather talk about the immigrants than forgetting.
Oh no, I think you're gonna need to answer this question. Also, by the way, I'm just learning that apparently Clinton didn't pardon this person. He just commuted them off death rows, and then they served the rest of their life in prison. So no, it's actually not the same thing. So this whole argument of Clinton doing this just goes out the fucking window. But no, I'm sorry, man. You're still caught in like the intellectual chokehold here, and you're not gonna pivot or deflect your way out of it. Why do you support Donald Trump literally pardoning people, letting them out of jail, and calling them patriots, even though they tried to end the lives of police officers on January 6th? You're absolutely pro-crime. You raging hypocrite. You have no soapbox to stand on and say that you don't support.
Try and back me into a wall and
mass
make me
deportation.
answer some convoluted, rigged ass question.
It's convoluted and rigged for me to ask you why you support your president pardoning people that try to kill cops? I didn't know that acknowledging reality and exploring reality in an intellectual conversation was convoluted and rigged. Maybe your guy's just a bad president. Ever thought about that? Like, this reminds me of a clip that I saw of this lady by the name of Emily Wilson the other day. She went on a podcast and she was shitting on me, and she said that whenever she does her research to find anything, it's always super hard because she can't find any research to back what she believes in. Therefore, she does zero research and just operates off of quote unquote common sense. I feel like you're kind of reiterating the same idiotic sentiment of basically saying when you're faced with facts of reality that are hard to like coincide with a pro-Trump worldview, such as the fact that Trump let like attempted cop killers out of jail, you just like call it convoluted and rigged and attempt to ignore it and criticize me for asking the president pressing questions. It's embarrassing, bro. So stop embarrassing yourself. Answer the question. How the fuck can you support Donald J. Trump letting people out of jail that try to kill cops, call them patriots, while also saying that you think we should be tough on crime?
Because all crime should be upheld. I can condemn what happened on January 6th and still think that we need to get rid of all the immigrants in here because we need to uphold the Constitution and everyone.
Wait. So if we need to punish all crime, why did you say you support Donald Trump not punishing all crime by pardoning the people that tried to kill cops on January 6th?
Obviously, the circumstances are different.
What were the circumstances that justified those pardons?
I'm not a lawyer. I didn't read the case on how or why specifically they didn't choose to go through with legal action or why he actually specifically pardoned that one guy. I don't know.
Wait, so you're just saying, oh, Trump did something that on the surface level is like obviously wrong, but because Trump did it, you're just going to assume that it was okay and that there's context to justify it.
Yeah, because most of the stuff that he has done has common sense and actual intelligence behind it.
You sheep! You're an absolute sheep! You're a fucking sheep! Oh my god! Oh my god, you're such a sheep! Wait. Tell me one bad thing Biden did.
Leave all that military equipment in Iraq. How about shut down the Exxon deal? Like, I don't know.
Leave all military equipment in Iraq and shut down some Exxon deal. Sir, I've done my research. I know nothing about those two circumstances, but I'm going to assume that there exists context to justify them both. Therefore, I support Biden in doing both of those things. Can you critique my argument?
Yeah, you're apparently a sheep, I guess.
Oh my god, bro, dude! I swear to God, you are slam dunking on yourself. Is this like a kink thing? Like, do you have a kink for public embarrassment? Because you give me that argument, I call you a sheep because it makes you look insane. Then I repeat the same argument back to you, and then all of a sudden you have more than 5 brain cells, and you're like, Dean, that makes you a member of a cult. You're just acting like a sheep for the DNC, right? So no, we can't just say that we support whatever somebody does by assuming that there must exist context to justify it, even though you don't know that context. Very good job, dude. I'm proud of you. Now that we have supported the argument that that's a bad position, please tell us why you support Donald Trump pardoning people like DJ Rodriguez that tried to unalive cops on January 6th, calling them patriots.
I mean, why do I have to defend that if you can't even defend anything that Bill Clinton did when he tried to get someone off from death row that actually BOMB'd the Capitol? I mean, it's like, why do I have to defend these actions? And if I don't, then that makes me less of a person or less IQ. You don't even make sense yourself.
All right. So I just want to make sure that your response to that is to say that you don't have to give an argument for why you defend that because Bill Clinton also did it?
No, because your answer to my questions was that, I can just condemn it and this and that and shut the question down so I don't have to answer anything about that. And then when it comes to something about January 6th, I have to get down to all the specific details. And if I don't, then I'm just like, you know what I'm saying, a sheep that just follows Donald Trump.
So I'd like to clarify that if I told you I supported Clinton's pardon there, I would have to give you an argument for why I supported it. But with the information you gave me, I don't support it. So, like, for instance, if you tell me right now that you condemn, Donald Trump pardoning people that tried to, assault and unalive cops on January 6th, you don't have to give an argument for that. I'll just accept that. But you're saying that you defend them. I'm curious in your reasons why. Also, I'd hope that Bill Clinton is, totally irrelevant to you having reason for the things you believe in. You know what I mean? You're trying to say that you don't have to have reasons to believe in things because of something to do with the president from the 90s? What?
I don't know. I thought this was going to be all about the
So what are the reasons that you have to believe that Donald Trump was doing something good when he pardoned DJ Rodriguez? Yeah, while he's putting that brain to work, I'm going to read off a couple donations here. Samantha, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying, "Hey Dean, thank you so much for the love. What's going on, Samantha?" And that's going to be super soon. We've just gotten really, really busy. Wow! Wayne, I really hope that you're still in here, man. I have not looked at my phone to read off donations for a bit, and I'm so sorry for screaming there. This was almost an hour ago. Wayne, thank you for the $1,000 donation over on Venmo. Oh my goodness gracious. Wayne, I really hope that you're still in here. Dude, I'm so sorry for screaming, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I understand. That was probably really loud. I want to see 10,000 Wayne W's for the $1,000 donation over on Venmo. Wayne, I really hope that you're still in here, man. I've been locked in with the debate, so I haven't been looking at the donations. Thank you so much for the $1,000. Dude, that's... Wayne, man, thank you for the love. That is completely outrageous. Can we please get 10,000 Wayne W's in the comment section right now? Wayne said, "Sorry, Venmo limited me. We shall see." Never, ever get the word sorry anywhere near $1,000 donation. Wayne, holy fuck, man. I love you. You know this. Thank you so much for your kindness. I really hope that you're still in here. God, I wish I would have seen this because this donation was seriously close to an hour ago. Thank you so much for the love. Mr. Literal fucking Batman. Thank you so much. Dude, thank you. And as well as, oh my God, 7 minutes ago with Jay with the $250 over on PayPal. What the fuck? Let's get 3,000 JWs. That is also so much money. Jay says, "Do something nice with your girlfriend. Take a well-deserved day off or not. With love to you both." Actually, Jay, so tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m., we're going out to LA. I have a panel to speak on out there. That will go towards a really nice dinner. Thank you, Jay. Oh my goodness gracious. I actually will be definitely taking that funding to put it towards something nice with my girlfriend. Let's get 3,000 JWs. Jay, that is seriously so kind. I do not deserve that either from you, Jay, or Wayne. Thank you guys so much for the love. As well as Alfredo with a 5, Kiki with a 5. Thank you guys so much. Keiko with a 50 cents. And everybody, thank you so much. I'm going to get better at reading the donations. I'm sorry, I was just locked in on those last two guests. They were both so insufferable and just were not tracking a conversation. I think that today is probably the worst day that we've had in a while as it relates to these people just being straight up members of a cult. Now, if you're watching and you'd like to support me, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. On TikTok, it's just in the bio. As well, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the pin message. But anyways, welcome in, Dustin. Do you support Trump?
I mean, I'm kind of like on the side of not, but I do support some of his policies. Like, you have educated me a lot on the essay he's done, which really turned me off to him completely. Like, I look at somebody's character, and his character is completely tarnished, especially with the picture with him, Epstein. What's up,
man? If you don't, have we talked before?
No, we have not talked.
Okay. Well, Jay, sorry, not Jay. Dustin, you told us that you don't support Trump anymore. I'm actually really fucking proud of you, bro. Like, I just want to let you know, I'm really proud of you. I'm going to move on to the next guest because we are just looking for people that do support Trump. But dude, I seriously want you to know that I'm so proud of you. So many people watching the stream right now are also so proud of you. That is great. I think that there's like so many Americans that have had like an inability to critique anything that Trump has ever done and will still support him no matter what to the end of like to the edge of the earth. So, I mean, I just really appreciate seeing people that are able to like recognize facts as like red lines against the guy, like leaving the cult. So really good for you. Really good for you. Thank you so much, Dustin. As well as Veteran. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Veteran says, this boomer votes for you, sir, to lead the charge against the stupidity running rampant in the country formerly known as America. Keep fighting for you and your generation. They need you. Dude, Veteran, you know I love you. Can we please get 500 Veteran W's down below? Thank you so much for the kind message. Seriously, man, thank you for the $50. That is a lot of money. And welcome in, Ryan. If you want to hit that unmute button, I'd love to have a chat. Go for it.
All right, mate, you're all right.
Oh, are you British?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are just looking to talk to people from America. So if you are in that queue, make sure that you're at least 18 years old. Make sure that you support Trump and make sure that you're ready and willing to come up here and have a debate if you are in that queue, as well as make sure that you're from America. We're going to go and load that next guest, Nick, in. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm losing my shit today a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I'm being a little bit more estranged talking to these people. Should I like bring it in a little bit? Should I reel it in? Should I play it a little bit cooler? Because like right now, I don't feel like I'm playing it too cool. I'm kind of just... No, you guys like it. I've been a little bit more reserved for the last little bit, and today those reservations are gone because for the last 2 hours straight, I've been talking to cult members. Welcome in, Nick. Do you support Trump? Okay, Nick is not here. If you happen to be one of the 9.5 thousand people watching, go ahead and put a MAGA down below in that chat with your age if you do want to come up and debate. Make sure that if you are doing that, you are following the rules. Also, a really nice way to skip the line. And Jay, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Jay says, here's $50 for the tip. Dude, Jay, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. You've been supporting me and Parker a lot recently, and just know that I really do appreciate you, as well as your kindness and generosity. If we could seriously please have everybody watching spam at least another 500 WJs in both of the live chats, that'd mean a lot. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Fry Guide 9086. Do you support Trump? Okay, Fry Guy is not here. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Well, thank you, Jay. Dude, thank you so much. We got Jeremiah loading up, and oh my goodness, Purdy! Dude, Purdy, thank you for the $100 on Venmo. What is going on today? Let's get 1,000 Purdy W's. Once again, incredibly kind. What the fuck? Purdy says, I can't believe it's been over 2 years. You've grown so much. Thank you for your patience and time. We appreciate you. Bro, Purdy, like you've watched me grow. I gotta say, you and like all the other people that have been around for a couple of years, y'all have watched me become the person that I am today. You have been here like literally since day one, since the first day I started live streaming on this platform. You've been hanging out with us. Just know that you are like such a core member of the Dean Team Dream Team, and I really do love you, Purdy. You've just been around for so long, and you've always been so kind and supportive. Thank you not only for the kind words, but once again also for the absolutely outrageous $100 donations. Show some love to Purdy down below, and welcome in, Jeremiah. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Age, please.
18.
18. What year were you born in?
06.
Okay, that sounded a little bit questionable. Questionable.
Oh.
What month in 06?
August 6, bro.
August 6. The maths. Okay, I'll accept it. So, why do you support the terrible president, Donald J. Trump?
Because he doesn't support murder as an abortion, bro.
Okay. Okay, cook. Go ahead. You're cooking. You're cooking my ass right now. Doesn't support murder as an abortion. Okay. Is that all? Is that what you want to talk about first?
I think murder is the biggest like felony you could do. So the Republicans don't support it. So why would I?
Okay.
Of course, I would.
Okay. All right. Abortion's murder. Can you give me an argument that abortion's murder? Wait, 1 second. Wait, 1 second. 1 second.
All right, bro.
Do you think that allowing states to legislate on murder is morally right to do?
Like, in what sense, bro?
You're gonna respond to my question. Like, do you think like allowing states to determine the legality of murder is a morally right thing to do?
Yeah.
Would you say that allowing states the right to legislate on slavery is morally right to do?
No.
So why is it wrong for states to legislate on slavery, but it's right for states to legislate on murder?
Because murder is a crime.
Okay, I don't think that you're understanding what I'm saying. Like, would you say it's morally wrong if we were to like have a president that basically told states they could legalize murder? Would you ever support that president?
Wait, what?
If we had a president that told states they could legalize murder, and a bunch of states did legalize murder, would you ever support that president?
No.
Isn't Donald Trump's like abortion agenda to give states the right to either legalize or criminalize it? And because you think it's murder, he's basically telling states that they have the right to legalize murder?
No, but Republicans are, the Democrats are like way more for it. So I'm for the Republican team.
Okay, it's progression. Okay, whatever. I'll give that argument up. Just tell us why you think it's murder. Take it away.
Because it's a human and a human life. Well, yeah, it's a human life.
Ending human life is murder?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that doctors that oversee like brain dead patients in hospitals that also like pull the plugs on them ultimately when their family consents to it are like mass murderers, since when you pull the plug on a brain dead patient, you're ending their human life?
Yeah, but did the brain dead patient have any progression in his brain? Like babies have their brains grow in the 9 months that they're in the womb.
Right. right? But like I don't. That should be irrelevant to your position because remember you told us that murder's ending a human life. Okay, like regardless of like cognitive function and/or cognitive development, all right, both a fetus and a brain dead patient are both human lives.
Yeah, but killing a brain dead patient has already been like legislated, like it's already been legal.
So if
for a long.
so if it's legal, it's not murder. So in states where abortion is legal, abortion's not murder.
No, I'm against abortion, bro,
Okay, why?
because it's murder.
Okay, right, but I pointed out an issue with your argument because you're telling us it's murder because it's ending a human life. So therefore, you think ending a human life is murder. Therefore, you'd say that when doctors pull the plugs on brain dead patients and in their human lives, they're murdering the brain dead patients.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're brain.
So like doctors that pull the plug on brain dead patients are like mass murderers.
No, because they're doctors.
So then ending human life is they're doctors. Well then, I mean, who's performing legal abortions? Doctors. So legal abortions aren't murder.
But the life has an option to it's progressing. The life is progressing as a brain dead patient, it's stagnant.
Okay, but this shouldn't matter because you define murder as killing an innocent human life regardless if it's progressing or stagnant. So if you want to revise your definition, that's fine. So give me a new revised definition of murder that accounts for this difference between brain dead patients and fetuses. Also, are you 17?
Fuck no, bro.
Why is everybody in my chat calling you 17?
Because I think I'm making myself look dumb.
It's just like assuming that you're underage.
Yeah, low-key.
Okay, chat, do you guys have any evidence that he's 17? No, it's the math?
All right.
Wait. You said August of you said August of 06, right?
Yeah.
Oh. August was next month. No, I mean I think that'd make you 18, right? Let me do the math. So
All right, bro. They're low-key hating me, so I'm gonna go.
1 second. 2004 would be 20 to 21. 2005 would be 19 to 20. 2006 would be 18 to 19. So if you were born in August of 2006, you would be 18, turning 19 next month. So I mean, like the math works out. That would make him 18. So hopefully everybody in the chat stop spamming D17. The math does work out. Now go ahead, go back to the argument here, Jeremiah.
Bro, I kind of love you, but like,
What?
I love your content, bro. But like, but abortion is bad or I support Trump because he doesn't support abortion.
Okay.
The way that the opposing party does.
Okay. So why should I value the life of a fetus? Convince me that I should value the life of a fetus.
Because it's a human.
Oh, dude. No, we've already dude, we've already went through this. You can't say that just killing a human is murder, or else you'd also classify pulling the plugs on brain dead patients as murder. When I brought up that response to you, you wanted to talk about how like maybe like the brain of a fetus is developing, the brain of a brain dead patient is stagnant, right? So this tells me that you actually don't value human life, but more so something to do with like cognitive capabilities, future consciousness, etc. So it's not because it's human. So then why is the life of a fetus valuable?
Because it's potentially human life.
It's potentially human?
Yeah.
What? What?
Well, no, it's becoming it's a human, bro. I'm mostly gonna go.
Okay, well, if your argument just goes back to it's a human, then at the end of the day, you just have a hard contradiction in your stance because you're like, it is murder to kill a fetus because it's a human, but it is not murder to kill a brain dead patient even though they're human. Contradiction, full stop. The only way to work around this contradiction is to take the idea that abortion is murder because fetuses are humans and fucking throw it out the window. But you're obviously not doing that. You're really dead set on just repeating the view, hoping if you repeat it enough times, it'll just suddenly not contradict itself anymore. So maybe here's what I'd say. We shouldn't legislate on contradictory beliefs. So continue to like think that abortion is murder because it's a human, But then also just believe at the end of the day that you do have an internal contradiction in that stance, and you shouldn't be telling other people what to do because of that stance. So just say that you think it's murder, but because the motivations for your belief that it is murder are contradictory, they're not motivations that can be used to control what other people can do. So therefore, even because you think it's murder, like women and girls should still be able to make that decision for themselves, making you pro-choice.
That's not her DNA. If it's not her DNA, it's not her choice.
Okay, all right. The same way that brain dead patients, they're not the DNA of the doctor that's pulling the plug, but you said it is their choice.
But in the abortion sense.
So you just special plead as it relates to fetuses? Why? Because if you could just special plead, listen. If you could just special plead and say that I actually have no reasons to think that abortion is wrong, I'm just going to special plea and say it's wrong to kill it because it's a human, even though that belief contradicts itself, maybe as it relates to brain dead patients. Well, I could just say from the pro-choice perspective that I don't think it's wrong to kill the fetus because it's human, but I think it's wrong to kill humans in nearly any other circumstance, meaning I'm special pleading. But that is the logic that you're giving me, just simply in reverse.
I guess so, bro. I'm not giving you an intellectual debate, so I'm going to go.
All right. Have a good one, Jeremiah. We're going to move on to the next guest. Appreciate that. And you should love my beliefs as well and hold them yourself. Let's go to get that next guest, Alex Boy, up in the live stream. Here we go, everyone. Jack, thank you for the $2 over on PayPal, saying, hey, Dean, been watching you for a while. As a Canadian citizen, it's frustrating to see what's been going on over there, but keep fighting the good fight. Thank you for the love, Jack. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love, Jack. Welcome into You Support Trump, Alex.
No, I don't support Trump.
All right, we got to kick you out. The rules are simple, guys. If you are in the queue, make sure that you're an American adult that supports Trump, that is ready and willing to come up here and debate. And if you happen to be one of the 9.8 thousand people watching over on TikTok, make sure you're double tapping. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Alexia? Alexia's not here. Goodbye, Alexia. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. Let's go to get that next guest up in the stream. Go ahead and put a MAGA down below in that chat with your age if you'd like to come up and skip the queue. John N. Rosie says, you're clueless. Thank God your mother didn't think like you. I block ignorance. Well, John, I sent you an invite. I'd love to have a chat. Obviously, you're not going to talk to me because you know you're wrong. But, I extended the invite nonetheless, Mr. John. Welcome in, Goda. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, no, Dean, can you please get some better people on here? It's embarrassing to debate these fucking nimbus. Come on. It's somebody that can hang with you. These fucking idiots. You're wasting your time.
Well,
stop.
Well, we'll see. I want to find. I want to find intelligent people. Are you that intelligent person?
I am, but I'm on your side. I'm just saying.
Fuck!
Better up, dude.
Fuck!
Dude,
no, goddamn.
Come on, you need somebody. Come on, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Dude, listen. I agree. I swear. I don't target people that aren't intelligent. I would love to talk to more intelligent people all day long. You could go back in my VODs and maybe once a week, once a month, I'll have somebody up on the stream that is intelligent and actually has good arguments. And when you compare my debates with intelligent people, once in a blue moon, compared to the guests that we've had so far in the live today, you will see that I'm just so much happier when I talk to people with cogent arguments. And I'll tell you why. It's because when they're wrong, they admit it, right? And what's better for me? Having people admit when they're wrong and using outwitting them, and that's what wins the debate, and that's something they could recognize, or just arguing with people that have brains the size of peanuts, right? That don't admit when they're wrong, that can't form a cogent argument. But I will tell you, today is especially bad. I don't think that we've had a day like today in a very, very, very long time. The people that we've debated so far have been terrible. It is so bad today. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Amba?
Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump.
Okay, I'm gonna go to ban you. Guys, if you're in the queue, make sure that means that you support Trump. You're at least 18 years old, and you want to come up here and debate. Veteran, thank you for the $50 over on Super Chat. Veteran says, 1, that is a number each person that follows the stream needs to bring back to reality. We all know these cult lunatics. Pick one, save them, be American. You know, honestly, Veteran, if everybody did that, the country would be saved in a day. That's actually not too bad of an idea. I actually really support that. Yeah, everybody pick one MAGA cultist in your life and try to convert them. Thank you for the $50 once again, Veteran. We love you. Let's get 500 Veteran W's down below. Welcome in, Left Lane. Do you support Trump?
I do. I got one question for you, though.
Okay. My crystal ball is telling me that after you ask me this question, you're going to leave, so please don't run away. Also, it sounds like you have like a type of...
No, I'm not.
It sounds like you have like a type of like Bluetooth device connected to your phone. Do you think you could disconnect like your headphones or whatnot? All right. By the way, if anybody watching me wants to support me once again, you could support me, support the stream, keep it running for 4 hours a day.
Is that any better? Sorry.
It is, via the Venmo and the PayPal and the link tree in my bio. Go ahead and take it away, Cowboy. What's your question?
I just got one question. Do you like your steak medium well, rare, or well done?
It depends on the cut. For less fatty cuts, like a sirloin, tenderloin, etc., I like the medium rare. Now, for like more fatty cuts, like a ribeye, I like them a good medium. So the fat, so the fat is a little bit better processed.
One last question.
Rendered.
What about a porterhouse? How you like? Okay.
Sorry.
You're a good man.
What about a porterhouse?
I do support Trump, but you're a good man.
Well, I appreciate that. What
Yeah.
about the porterhouse? Well, I mean, I don't know. Porterhouses are a little bit too big for me. What's that? The New York strip, the ribeye, and the fillet. See, I don't know. It's a little bit too much for me. I'll take a 12-ounce ribeye,
Okay.
and that's enough.
I know you're a small guy, but I guarantee you can eat a 30-ounce ribeye or a 30-ounce porterhouse.
Well, I'll have to give it a try. Do you want to talk about why you support
Definitely.
Trump?
No, I really don't. I just wanted to come up here. Dude, I watch you every day. I do support Trump. I'm not a debater. I'm a truck driver. I'm dumb. I don't do that stuff.
No worries.
But I watch you every day, bro. I really do. You and Parker both. I watch you guys. You've taught me some stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It hasn't made me change my mind just yet. You have taught me some stuff. That's why I watch you every day.
Well,
Maybe one day you'll convert me over.
Well, listen, I'm going to give you one thing before you leave. If you want to make the best steak of your life, because it seems like you like steak, dude, I'm telling you, take it and reverse sear it, okay? And to cook it, put it in the oven at 285 degrees. For like an inch or 2 inch ribeye, for instance, it'll probably take around 45 minutes to get up to temp. Pull it out like 10 to 15 degrees under temp. So, I mean, if you want it like a good medium rare, pull it out at like 120, 125. And then wipe it off and then do a reverse sear. You will not only get like the best edge to edge cook of your life, but you'll also get like the best sear of your life. And God, it'll just be the best steak ever. I mean, it's like the reverse sear in the oven.
I'm going to try that.
A+.
I'm going to try that.
You better, dude. It is so good. It is so good. You have a good rest of your day though, man.
Hey, you too, buddy.
All right. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. Yeah, the reverse sear with like a little bit of like a slower cook in the oven. Best way to cook a steak, dude. Edge to edge. Every time cooked perfectly. Plus, because it's already cooked a little bit, you're not going to have as much like internal juices leaking out when you're trying to put a sear on it.
Hey.
So you're going to have more contact with the pan.
Just want to let you know I'm taking a shit.
Very nice, JJ. And it comes out a lot better. So, I mean, if you're big into steaks, try that reverse sear. We're going to move on to the next guest. Welcome. And do you support Trump?
Hey, I'm not 18, but just...
And then I got to kick you. Sorry, bro. If you're in the queue, make sure that you're at least 18 and you support Trump and you'd like to come up here for a debate. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. God, now I want to cook a steak. Ooh. I actually did the other day and I posted it on Twitter. It looked pretty good. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I joined by accident. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. Let's go and get that next guest up here. If you want to skip the line and come up, let me know down below with a MAGA. We'll get you pulled up. Hope, thank you for the $1 over on Venmo to read off your very first question. All right, we're going to let that load, Hope, and then I'll happily do that. We got future militant loading in. All right, Hope's first question was, I would love to get your thoughts on this. I've been thinking about how most people address Harris by her first name, but every other president by their last name. It makes me wonder how we as a society view women in positions of power versus men. So I agree with you. I originally had that thought. However, that thought went away once I realized that that's what she ran on. You know what I mean? Like she ran on Kamala. That's what she put on the merch. That's what she ran her campaign as. That's what she put on the bus, the plane, etc. Now, like maybe that there's some like greater reasons why she ran as Kamala that have to do with like societal sexism and whatnot. But I will say, like, I don't think it's wrong for anybody to refer to her as Kamala simply because that's what she ran on. Welcome in, future militant. Do you support Trump?
Hey, what's good? I have a question for you.
Are you MAGA?
No, but let me ask my question.
No, man, sorry. Guess what? You're not the center of the universe. We're going to move on to the next guest. I will say, I have set the rules for the live. I've set the rules for the live. I'm not going to let anyone break them. Rah.
Hello?
Age, please.
19.
What year were you born in?
06?
Okay. Do you support Trump?
Fucking, yeah, to the walls.
Is this your dad's account? Who's Robert McCain? Obviously, you're obviously not Robert
This
McCain.
is my late uncle's account.
Why are you using your dead uncle's TikTok account to debate politics?
Why do you need to know? This is a very personal question. This has nothing to do with my political affiliations.
I think that's Trump.
No.
We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. Let's go and see what that next guest has to say. Let's go to get Derek to let it up in the box. Welcome in. What's up, Derek? Do you support Trump?
No, I'm a progressive Democrat. I just want to say I was in Texas when I watched you and everyone all debate MAGA.
Oh, you're out there at Texas A&M?
Yeah. Oh, I was in Texas at the time, but I'm in Minnesota. I work for Planned Parenthood.
Dude, very, very nice, Derek. Well, thank you so much for being down there in Texas when we were at A&M. I had a lot of fun there. And Derek, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, man. Take care, dude. Take care. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded into the box right now, everybody. Vlad here, thank you for the 1 penny over on Vimeo. Very kind of you. Welcome in. What's going on, Pickles OG4? Do you support Trump?
Bro, you're peak.
Okay. That is a job. All right, we're going to start pulling up from the comment section. We're going to start pulling up from the comment section now. If you want to skip the line and come up here and have a conversation with us, let me know down below. I'll happily pull you up. Just the queue. There's a lot of people in the queue that aren't supposed to be in the queue, and I don't think that anything I'll ever be able to say is going to change that. So, yeah, if you want to come up here and have a conversation, just let us know down below. What's up, Ben? Do you support Trump?
Nah, man, I'm from the UK.
Bro, we're getting raided. We're getting raided by British people. This is not 1776, guys. Come on. Come on, everybody. Please. Moving on to the next guest, Balls. Z, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Z. Z says, hey, Dean, I'm the fashion designer from yesterday, and I made 3 concept designs if you'd like to see. Dude, Z, send them over to me on DMs, and then send a message telling me what platform you DM'd me on. I'll be the most likely to see it if you DM them to me on Discord. Or just ask my mods in the Discord to ask for permissions to send pics and then drop them in the public Discord and they'll flag me. We're going to move on to the next guest right now, everybody. What's going on, LT? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I still support Trump.
All right. Let's see. G, thank you for the $4 over on PayPal. G says, thanks for keeping me educated on politics, Dean. You've really inspired, you've really helped me with my perspective.
You're listening to me.
Well, before I listen to you, I'm going to thank G for their donation. Do you have a problem with that?
I still support Trump.
Okay.
You gonna argue with me about that?
And I was thanking G for their donation. I'm going to go back to reading G's donation now. So G with the $4
no, you do your thing.
says, thanks for keeping me educated on politics, Dean. You've really helped me with my perspectives. G, that makes me happy. I'm happy that I've helped you with your perspectives. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the $4 donation. Take it away, LT. Tell us how the hell you still support Trump. I'm sorry. I actually got to thank Leonard for the $3 over on PayPal saying Manti on Jubilee was crazy. I actually really didn't like that episode. We're going to talk about that later, Leonard. Thank you for the $3 on PayPal. Take it away.
I think let me ask you, son. What you doing with that wiggity ass haircut, boy?
I need to get my hair cut. All right, I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you.
Oh no, I feel bad, man. I'm from the UK. I was faking all that.
Okay, we're gonna go and move on. We're gonna go to. That's actually pretty convincing British, a pretty convincing Southern accent from somebody in the UK. Y'all, we're still getting invaded by the British. Can the British stop the invasion, please? We just want to talk to people that support Trump in America. We have 10.4 thousand people in the TikTok, and you're telling me I can find one person to debate on why they support Trump? God! Jeez, what's up? I'm not even going to say your name. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, dude, it's fine, Dag. Also, I'm extremely nervous. I've been like watching you since you started, and I've never got accepted, so like my nerves are crazy.
No, you're here, man. You're here now, man. Honestly, I question people that aren't nervous when they come up here. I think that being nervous is indicative of like some level of intelligence. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, I've tried so hard to let y'all switch me just because y'all are the best debaters. Like, and it's maybe it's just a systemic thing for me from just family and not do. But I've done my own research, and I think my main problem with where we are now is there's no gray area anymore. But I still more align my views with the Republican views.
Well, man, let's have a chat about why you support Trump. Quickly, before we get into it, there's just one more person I want to thank here. Anonymous, thank you for the $14 donation over on PayPal. Anon says, so sorry for spamming, but I sent you a DM on IG regarding a design of the potential merch. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you so much for the $14, Anonymous. Show some love to Anon down below. Then, oh my God, Madeline with the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Madeline. Dude, let's get 500 Madeline W's down below for the $50 donation. That is super kind of you. Madeline says, how do you feel about people coming up to you in public? Is it okay? Good, bad, sometimes? Great question. I actually love it. I love it when people say hi to me in public. I was actually out in public yesterday, went out last night with a handful of friends, and, you know, a lot of people had approached me, but even more people were like too nervous to approach me. I love it. I love it when people say hi. I love it. It's like my favorite thing ever. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Good question. And thank you once again for the very kind $50 donation, Madeline. While we're hopping into this debate, let's see 500 Madeline W's down below. Take it away. What is your argument? Why do you support Trump?
I think it's more along the lines of immigration and how more left-leaning politicians were like flipping a lot. But especially when it came to, I don't know if you're familiar with that application I-589, like asylum clause that Biden's administration updated. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I completely, like, that's what kind of turned me.
So what do they update in the asylum application? Because the I-589, that's the asylum application, right?
Yeah, it is. That was updated, I think it was like August of 2023 or something, but they made it to basically where, because me and you both would probably consider a 21-year-old to be a grown man, right? Or a grown woman.
21-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 21-year-old would be a man. 21-year-old
Yeah, so
would
my
be a
problem
woman.
is with that is they made it to where you could claim that your child, who could be 21 years old, could be brought in with you. They would consider a 21-year-old a child. And I think that's where a lot of the human trafficking and like cartel operations were thriving. And as far as like the DRUG crisis and all that, because they were allowing 21-year-old full-grown people to be claimed as a child across the border.
You know what? I actually really support that update to the asylum application. I mean, think about it. If there's like a family in another country and they live together, I mean, we see that often, not just in other countries, but also in America. You know, living at home with your parents when you're 21, although it's not super typical, it definitely still happens, especially under like political persecution or suboptimal socioeconomic conditions. It's definitely more of a typical occurrence. And then when we also consider that, asylum is for people that are being persecuted, asylum is for people in suboptimal socioeconomic conditions, it'd be like very typical for families that have a legitimate claim to asylum to have children that are like 21 or younger, and even in some cases older, still be living under the same roof. So, I mean, I think that makes perfect sense to me. Now, if your argument is that this led to more human trafficking, I'd like to see, any data to represent that's true.
The only data I have is just the numbers that rose from, whether you're talking any type of government website. I mean, because there was a rise in numbers, and I think that attributed to it. I can't tell you the exact, where I would.
Well, it seems like you have a lacking argument then, because that would be a correlation causation fallacy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of variables to consider when it comes to the rise of human trafficking, whether it was, getting rid of the stay in Mexico, like whatever you want to say, but the fact that there was a
you'd
rise,
have to demonstrate that this change to the asylum application is going to be like meaningful for an increase in human trafficking.
Yeah, and no, I know what you're saying, and I agree with you because I don't actually have the factual evidence, but I don't agree with it. I don't think that because if you look at it, especially where they were getting tested to see if they were related, that wasn't going on that much. So if you have a full-grown man that's 20, and even if they were 21, them saying, "Oh, I'm part of this family," that would prolong their asylum process. Like the bigger family you had, the more it would prolong that process. So for these people, and I mean that's a fact for sure. And though a lot of
the solution here is that we should serve those families that need asylum. Families should stay together, and especially families that are being persecuted. But the fix would be to make the asylum process not take as long. You know that Donald Trump actually killed a bill under the Biden-Harris administration that would have hired more judges to run more courts for asylum. So
that was my next question.
Can you give me any legitimate argument about? Can you give me any legitimate argument about why Biden's changes to the asylum application were wrong? Because I don't think you have one.
I think it's wrong. I don't think a 21-year-old should be considered a child.
Wait, it's not considering them a child. It's considering them a dependent in the sense that they qualify for blanket asylum as they are part of the same family that was facing like persecution. I don't think that considering them a dependent in the sense would qualify them or make them a kid. Like for instance, in America, your parents can claim you on their insurance until you're 26. Does this mean in America that 25-year-olds that are claimed on their parents' insurance are children?
I would not consider a 21-year-old a child. You can be a dependent, but on this,
you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question.
You can be a dependent, but I wouldn't consider that a child.
You're still not answering. Okay, so do you think that in America, because your parent can claim you and include them in their insurance until you're 26, that this means that the American government thinks that 25-year-olds are children?
Can you claim a 21-year-old on your taxes?
Is it dependent on your taxes?
Oh yeah, if you pay taxes,
you're still not answering my. Wait. I'm so sorry. Yes. The answer is yes, but you're still not answering my question. So I guess this would apply to taxes or insurance. So would a 20-year-old being claimed as a dependent on their parents' taxes, or a 25-year-old being claimed as a quote-unquote dependent as it relates to qualifying for the parents' health care they get from their employer? Does this mean that the American government thinks that 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25-year-olds are children?
Me personally, that's what I'm saying. Me personally, I don't like. If I could never imagine saying this 20. Like I would never claim a 21-year-old as a dependent.
That's your. Why? I'm not asking you what you would ever do. Plus, I bet you will do this if you're a dad. You'd be an idiot not to, right? If like you're helping your kid go to college, and you've created a fund for them, you're helping them, you're paying for their food, you're paid for their tuition, I don't know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Why would you not claim them as a dependent on your taxes? Why would you just cost yourself more money? By the way, you actually want to know what our government calls like dependents, like 21-year-old college students that are being claimed on their parents' taxes? Our government calls them qualified children.
What we're talking about in the state, you keep making it sound like when we're talking about our personal families as an American citizen in the U.S. I'm talking about in a situation where immigration, I don't know if you agree with me, immigration was an issue, right?
Dude, okay. I'm gonna give you one last opportunity to answer my question.
Well, you brought up the bipartisan border bill.
No,
Therefore-
you're deflecting. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna.
I'm not.
Man,
please
yes,
finish my
no, you actually can't. I'm sorry. I've done
Okay,
it. I've had my
that's
daily.
the problem with you, man. Like you brought.
I've had my daily maximum of like
You're the one that brought
deflecting
it up.
rage baiters so far today.
I know you brought up. What I'm saying is my argument.
So can I
is
tell you what I
about-
want you? Can I tell you what I want you to respond to without deflecting?
You never let me finish a sentence, bro.
Yeah, I definitely let you finish your
You muted
argument.
me 3 times. Every time I try to speak, you won't let me finish a sentence. That's not how a debate goes.
Because you're deflecting. I don't think that.
I'm not deflecting. I answered your question. When it comes to U.S.
I can tell you
American
why
citizens,
you are
yes.
deflecting.
But when it comes to immigration, when you're talking about an asylum clause that was updated to help more immigration come across these the borders, like especially if it's illegal immigration, this not only helped the boost of illegal immigration, and we can all agree was a problem, because why would you guys get so butthurt if Trump were to shut down this bipartisan border bill if immigration wasn't a problem? Why do you guys always make that your argument? If it wasn't a problem, then why do you always make that as an argument? Well, he shut down this bill. He shot it down. Well, then why are you so butthurt
because
about
it is a problem. Because we do have a problem with how long the legal means of entry into this country takes. Right now, as of today, there's 11 million backlogged immigrants, and the legal means. Why are you interrupting me? This is why I've muted you. This is why I've muted you. This is why I've muted you right here. Why are you interrupting me when I'm answering your question? The goal of debate is not to steamroll over your opponent, is not to gish gallop and throw a billion points at them at once, is not to deflect, pivot, and ignore anything that they ask you, bro. I'm not a fucking punching bag to do whatever you want to. So don't treat me like one. We're 2 adults trying to have a good faith discussion. That's what we're trying to do. So shut the hell up. Let me finish responding to what you said and sit down. I understand that human nature has a proclivity for being right and against being wrong. And the demonstration of these virtues of annoyance, of these debate tactics that are incredibly bad faith, like asking me a question and interrupting me midway through, is just like a fucking attempt to muddy the waters and prevent me from proving you wrong or asking you a hard question that you won't be able to answer. But stop it. Because being wrong is not a bad thing that you should avoid. Sometimes being wrong is a good thing that can help you become right by exploring what the other options to for these questions that you've apparently gotten wrong all along.
Answer the question, then ask me a question.
God, and yeah, you won't even hear anything else out there that I just said. Yeah, everything that I just said went in one ear, out the other. Sir, why did you join this live if you're not going to even hear me out for what I have to say?
I've been hearing you out. It's easy to say that when you have a mute button. You've muted me 4 times before I was even speaking.
I see. Yeah, typical Republicans and not respecting boundaries, and then when those boundaries are enforced, they get pissed.
Typical liberals sitting there trying to call someone out just because they're political. What do you think, if I asked that question earlier, when you were the first person to bring up why Trump shot down this certain bill, and I ask you why, if you think, because earlier you said immigration wasn't really a problem, and that's what a lot of leftists have said. So why do you guys get so butthurt?
You've never listened to my live. Earlier, when you told me that you've listened to these lives, you were lying. Because if you did listen to these lives, or even like watch my videos, you will know my thoughts on immigration and how I think that.
You know what's funny?
And there you go. You interrupt me again. Give me one reason why.
You know what's funny?
Give me one reason why I shouldn't kick you right now after this most recent interruption, which followed me describing how you've been interrupting me this whole time, how you haven't let me answer to anything you've said this whole time, and how it's just all been an attempt to ignore the fact that I'm proving you wrong. Give me one reason why I shouldn't kick you.
But I sent you over 30 galaxies not even a year ago with you and Jaden and Parker.
Yeah, buddy. Sending me money isn't going to prevent me from calling you out on your bullshit. I do appreciate you so much for the galaxies, though. Give me one reason why I shouldn't kick you right now.
No, that's fine. I just want to say, and respectfully, like, I'm sorry, I'm getting passionate about it just because you're attacking me intellectually. But like, and no, it's no disrespect towards you and your channel. Like I watch you all the time, and I haven't heard a solid answer to prove me to think differently of why I think immigration was on the rise and why a lot of bad things were happening, and I think that asylum bill was a part of it. And you haven't proved me wrong on why I don't think that 21-year-olds should be brought in as a dependent. You could have a family of 10 when you got 21-year-olds that should not be coming up under in a blanket under their parents just because they're escaping asylum. A lot of these were false claims. Also, if you've looked at the numbers, a lot of these were just like, oh, I'm going to claim this to maybe to either have a better life or to smuggle something or to human traffic. Like if 21-year-old, I see where you're coming from, but you haven't proved me to think any differently. I think it's still bad. I think him updating that asylum plus the app where you could just literally fill out a form and it just graces you straight in. Like, I don't agree with that. And you haven't proved me wrong on why that is okay.
Maybe I'd be able to prove you wrong if you didn't cut me off midway through my sentences. Okay.
Well, I apologize. You know, I'm sorry. Like, where I'm from, I'm a Southern Italian, bro.
So
I'm sorry.
So where do you want to start?
Unless it's you, but I might be speaking. I'm not want to put words in your mouth, but like we can agree earlier, like I said, that there was a big immigration problem, which is what kind of stood on, the presidential election.
This is exhausting for me. Incredibly exhausting for me, because the first thing that you bring up when you join the live stream is how you think that the Biden-Harris administration emboldened human trafficking by changing the asylum application form to include, the children of adults 21 or younger under like the same umbrella asylum application. And now, next thing I know, you interrupt me, I can't speak, we go back and forth, we get into meta, and then all of a sudden when I try to clear everything up and have a productive conversation with you, you completely pivot, move on, change the topic of conversation back to why you think the Democrats misstepped with allowing so many people into the country during the last 4 years. So I'm going to need one solid claim from you here to debate. Tell me, why do you support Trump? One reason that we could stick on with no interruptions and hopefully have a productive dialogue.
I stuck with Trump because he was going to deal with the immigration problem better than not even Kamala or Biden, but any type of democratic representation in the country.
Okay. What's your favorite Trump immigration policy so far?
Though, probably I like the mass deportation.
Okay. All right. Can you agree that conceptually speaking, I've said this to a couple guests, I'll say it every time, it's kind of a circle, it's a loop-de-doop at this point, but I call it the immigration guillotine because it's a killer argument. Would you agree conceptually speaking that a bad policy is going to be a policy in which has more negative outcomes than positive outcomes?
If you take them at face value, you can definitely think that way. But I think when it comes to policies, and I think the numbers are showing for themselves, that it's helped more than it's hurt as of right now.
Wait, no, stop it. That's not what I'm asking you. Okay. Can you agree that a bad policy is going to be a policy that yields more negative outcomes than positive outcomes?
A bad policy, yeah, but you don't know if a policy is bad until it's right.
Could I just get a yes or no?
If a policy is bad, then no, I do not want it in.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you if conceptually speaking, a bad policy is a policy that yields more negative outcomes than positive outcomes.
Okay, how do you know if a policy is bad?
Dude, we're not going to be by it yielding more negative outcomes than positive outcomes. That's what I'm trying to get you to agree to.
What negative outcomes have happened?
We'll get on to that after you could just agree to the baseline of what makes a bad policy.
If a policy gets put in and then it has bad value, I can't say a policy is bad until it goes into effect.
Can we just agree that a bad policy is a policy that yields more negative outcomes than positive outcomes? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's a bad policy.
Okay, great. Now that you've accepted that, now we move on to how we can use this concept of what a bad policy is in a debate about mass deportation. So it would be my goal, because I think it's a bad policy, to demonstrate that it yields more negative outcomes than positive outcomes, and it'd be your goal to demonstrate that it yields more positive outcomes than negative outcomes, right?
Yes, go ahead.
So a good next step is for me to go over the negative outcomes, for you to go over the positive outcomes, to see who can name more, to see who could give more compelling reasons for their side, right?
Oh, God, this is where you're going to get me. Go ahead.
Well, if you've already admitted I'm going to get you, I mean, that just means you've already admitted it's a bad policy. But
I can already save you the time, because my argument's going to be like, well, because I was an Obama fan because of him deporting, the over 3+ million. And that's going to be my basis of my argument that's coming up, but it's not going to matter.
What does Obama have to do with the positive outcomes of mass deportation?
That's what I'm saying. It's not, because that's what I like. I like the fact that Obama actually helped the economy by deporting 3 million people.
Okay. So you think that mass deportation is good for the economy? So that would be a positive outcome that you'd be able to name. Can I have an argument for that? How does mass deportation help the economy?
Well, the more people you have, especially not even with I'll support legal immigration. I want people to come here and have a good life.
Okay, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
Why would you bring Parker up? God dang it.
That's an irrelevant point to the argument that you're supposed to be making. Why do you think that mass deportation is good for the economy? Let's hear it.
Well, the less people you have here that's getting paid under the table and not paying proper forms of taxes or hi Parker, I'm a big fan. If you have a lot of people here, that is what's happening, and I blame it a lot on business owners that are hiring.
Can I just have? What's the argument? What is the positive economic outcome of mass deportation?
I'm getting. If I could finish, if you have, sure. And I think you should hold business owners accountable as well that are hiring these people and paying them under the table a lot less than what the normal American citizen would make, as well as paying taxes. But there's so many people getting paid under the table for not only under living wage compared to an American citizen, but they're not paying taxes when they're getting paid under the table, and which is exactly why I think Obama did what he did, and I supported that.
Hey, man. Maybe I just wasn't tracking. What was the positive economic outcome of mass deportation that you told me?
Because you have people that are taking jobs that are getting paid under the table, which means they're not paying their state tax, they're not paying their federal tax.
When you first of all, undocumented immigrants pay $100 billion per year in taxes on the federal, state, and local level. I agree that they're more likely to work under the table. That's because when they do pay taxes, they don't reap the benefit of like federal systems of aid, like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, as well as they can't file for a tax return. We give them mass amnesty or naturalize them, they'd be just as likely to work over the table as citizens, as well as they'd get paid higher wages. But that's not here nor there, because just simply pointing out the fact that some undocumented immigrants work under the table is not naming a positive economic outcome of mass deportation.
Do you think it would hurt if that? Do you think it would help if we did get those people out of there and let people that are in a U.S. citizen work for these businesses? You don't think it would help at all?
So yeah, I think it'd hurt the economy. What's your argument that it'd help the economy? Are you saying that mass deportation would help the economy by like allowing more open job opportunities?
Most definitely. If you have people getting paid under the table that aren't paying federal and state taxes, but where do you think the money goes when you pay your, like I pay a lot of taxes each year.
So you're basically saying that we could fill those roles with people that will pay taxes? With
people that legally can pay taxes, yes. Okay. Yeah, if you are not, I blame the business owners just as much.
Sounds good. Did you know that A, undocumented immigrants do pay taxes? B, the only reason why they're less likely to pay taxes and more likely to work under the table, as I already said, I'm repeating myself at this point, is because they don't qualify for this federal systems of benefit. So in other words, you're basically telling us that we can ensure that there's more people working jobs and paying taxes if we were to offer undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship.
You're saying
filling those positions with citizens.
No, you're saying that people that get paid under the table don't get taxes getting that taken out of their paycheck? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that the issue you're pointing out is the idea that undocumented immigrants are less likely to work over the table. I agree. The reason why I agree and the reason why they're less likely to work over the table is because they don't reap any of the benefits when they pay taxes, like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, federal food stamp, Section 8, etc. However, they still do pay taxes. They pay $100 billion per year in taxes on the federal, state, and local level through ITINs. But if your point is, well, if we remove them all, we'll have more people paying more in taxes, I actually would refute that claim, and I'd say that it's false. Because mass deportation would shrink our economy by forcefully laying off 8.3 million of our laborers, our manufacturers become less efficient, as well as they sell us goods/commodities, because we have about 12 million consumers that are excommunicated out of the market. So overall, we'd have a weaker economy with less job opportunities, because we'd require less job opportunities. And if we truly do want a stronger economy with more people paying taxes, let's strengthen the economy by offering undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship. The reason why this would strengthen the economy is because then undocumented immigrants would be more likely to work over the table and pay taxes, and they'd be more likely to garner higher wages, as they'd have more bargaining power to issue against their employer. Right? So in other words, if you truly want to help the economy, get more people to pay more taxes, get more people to make more money when they work, get more people to contribute more to the GDP, etc., you support mass amnesty, which would be the mass naturalization of undocumented immigrants.
In an ideal world, I would love for all, if undocumented immigrants would actually do the steps it would take to become a national citizen. But in all fairness, you're talking about like an ideal society. Like, if we were to say, because what percentage of undocumented immigrants get paid under the table?
I don't
Do you know that?
I don't know if we know the percentage.
It's at least, this was like a year ago though. It's at least over 70-something%.
I don't believe that.
Can you give a source?
No, it was on, I forget, it wasn't Congress.gov. It was somewhere else, but it might be higher now. But you can look it up right now.
I don't believe
it was
that.
on Congress.
No, it might have been on Congress or the immigration.gov website.
Well, hey man, you are actually right for 50% of the claim. The CBO does estimate that 70% of undocumented immigrants do something with taxes. But what they're reporting is that 70% of undocumented immigrants work over the table and pay taxes.
Where does it say that at?
Some CBO's estimates. So, I mean, that's likely the source that you're referring to.
Oh, but he thinks the CBO is a horrible DNC scam.
Yeah, it looks like you.
No, I don't.
You saw something, you just misinterpreted it. Real quick, I gotta thank a couple people. Hannah, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Hannah says, I watch you every day to mentally and politically prepare myself to change my dad's mindset. He was deep in MAGA in 2020. Bro, Anna, if you ever want to request to join so I could debate your dad, I would love to do that. But thank you for being here, and thank you for the $15 on Venmo as well. Let's get 150 Hannah W's down below. I'd also like to thank Anonymous for the $40 donation over on Venmo. Anonymous, that is incredibly kind of you. Can we get 400 Anon W's down below in that chat? Anonymous says, I'm a nanny and have told the kids about you and how smart you are as an encouragement for them to stay informed, and they told me that they hope they can vote when you run for president. Oh, that is so kind. Thank you not only for the very kind words, but also for the $40 donation. Huge shout out to Anonymous. And then also Fanny with the $10 over on Venmo saying, I don't know if you remember this, but you were a top 3 contestant of the White Boy of the Month contest that I made on my story, and you saw it. Dude, let's go. Hell yes. Patrick with a $15 saying, been watching you for a minute now. Thank you for educating people. My whole family is MAGA. You've educated me to debate them now. Also, LeBron is the GOAT. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I'm happy that you've taken some value away. And once again, thank you for the $15 donation. And then Bree, this was 23 minutes ago, but I still want to thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Just call me a diva. Appreciate it. Varian, that is Varian. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. They say, I love watching your lives. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the $10 donation, Varian. Yeah, there we go. We're all caught up. If you're watching and you're like, hey, this Dean guy's cool, if you want to support me, support the live streams, or support the much needed therapy that I will require after the guest today because I've been like abysmally bad, feel free to support me on Venmo and PayPal, which is located in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, as well as in the pinned message over on that YouTube stream. Now, take it away, Mr. Guest.
Oh, you're fine, man. I'll concede. You are a lot more educated than me on any matter, probably. I work too much to do a lot of research, but yeah, I'll concede respectfully. I just maybe it's just the ignorance in me, maybe, that I still think the way I do, but there's a lot of things I see that I don't take at face value, like you guys, a lot of the facts you spit out. There's a lot of things that go on behind what you're actually saying. Though they might be right, but it's so hard to, like, I'm trying to not just have a narrow-minded way of thinking, which you've helped me a lot by having this debate with you, man.
Yeah,
like I said, I've
you know what?
This whole time.
That was
But I apologize for being loud or rude or anything. But yeah, I think that I learned a lot just from talking to you just now. I do watch you a lot, and you're cooking. You're a good cook, it looks like, too. But also Parker's here, so it makes it even harder for me. So I will let you guys move on. Yeah, between Parker and Jaden. Also, if you can ask Jaden a question for me next time you see him, if he's not the guy that caused Beavis to have a Cornholio episode in one of these shows I watched, an episode. I think he did like the voice actor on him. Tell him I really like his work. So
I'll make sure to let him know. I hope you have a good rest of your day, man. It definitely was a pretty hot start there, dude. Appreciate you for kind of grounding yourself towards the end of the conversation. I definitely do respect that. As well as Ashley. Thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat on YouTube. Thank you for the love. As well as what you're saying there is absolutely true, Ashley. Let's show some love to Ashley, everybody. Let's get 200 Ashley W's down below in that chat while we're working on getting that next guest up here. In fact, we already have Investment Man. Hello, Investment Man. Do you support Trump?
I do.
All right, Mr. Investment Man. Tell me and Parker why you support Dipey Donald.
Just real quick. Hey, I'm at 5 charge. I'm in the back of an Uber, so if I do drop in 10 minutes, I didn't hang up, and I'll come back another day.
Okay.
Socially, I fall left. Capitalism and some other business reasons, I fall right. I'm going to say I lean further right than left, though. So as of right now, I did vote for him. He's probably slightly edging out that I would vote for him again in the midterms. Not him.